The letter came on a Thursday. Ngozi read it twice, standing at the doorway of their single room in Abakpa, the afternoon sun pressing flat and hot against her back. The words were polite in the way that knives are polite. They went in clean and said nothing about the bleeding. After careful consideration of your application and the current needs of our organization, we regret to inform you. She folded it along its original crease and placed it in the manila folder beside her bed. 41 folders now. 36 of them were not even rejections. They were silences, which is a different and crueler thing. A rejection at least confirms you were seen. Her mother was frying akara outside. Ngozi could hear the oil spitting, could smell the onions her mother had woken at 5 to grind. Mama Ngozi had been frying akara at the junction near Ogbete Market for 12 years. She had calluses on her palms from the ladle, a permanent lean to her left shoulder from carrying the tray, and a savings book she kept in her brassiere that had funded every school fee, every handout, every final year project binding that Ngozi had ever needed. "Any news?" her mother called. "Nothing yet," Ngozi said. The lie came easily now. It had been 8 months of practice. She had graduated in July with a CGPA of 4.87. The head of department had shaken her hand in front of the whole faculty and said she was the best student the accounting department had produced in 11 years. Her mother had cried so openly that 2 strangers handed her handkerchiefs. Ngozi had worn her gown and stood straight and felt for the first time in her life that effort had a shape, that you could build something real from sacrifice and concentration and early mornings and saying no to things other girls said yes to. That feeling lasted approximately 6 weeks. The interview in Lagos was the worst one, not because they were unkind, they were perfectly pleasant, which made it worse. 2 men and a woman, a glass table, bottled water she was afraid to drink in case it seemed presumptuous. She had taken the night bus because she could not afford the flight. She had ironed her only suit in the bathroom of a cousin's Face Me I Face You, using a pot of hot water and a cloth. She had answered every question cleanly, had quoted IFRS standards without pausing, had smiled at the right moments, and been serious at the right moments. 3 weeks later, the offer letter arrived. She had screamed into her pillow for 5 minutes. 2 weeks after that, the second letter arrived. They did not say pregnant. They said circumstances had changed. They said the position had been reviewed. They used the passive voice, which is how people say things they know are wrong but have decided to do anyway. She was 9 weeks along. She had told them nothing. Someone had told them something. She sat on the edge of the bed for a long time after reading that letter, not crying, just sitting, the way you sit when your body needs a moment to absorb information your mind already understands. Emeka called that evening. Emeka, who had sat beside her in cost accounting and copied her workings and graduated with a 2.2 and laughed about it at the send-forth party, already halfway through his second beer. Emeka, whose uncle owned a mid-sized audit firm in GRA. "Ngozi, I just resumed today, oh. You don't know, my uncle's company." She congratulated him. She meant it, and did not mean it, the way you can feel 2 true things at the same time. She was happy he had something. She was furious that having something required so little from him, a uncle, a phone call, a 2.2 that nobody had cared about enough to count against him. She lay in bed that night with her hand on her still flat stomach, doing the mathematics of her life. There was a small vocational school in Emene that needed an accounting teacher, temporary, poorly paid, the kind of job her first-class degree was not supposed to lead to. She had been looking at it for 3 weeks, telling herself she would apply somewhere better first. There was nowhere better left to apply. She picked up her phone and wrote the email. Here is what the story does not promise: a turnaround, a mentor who sees her potential, a company that calls back, a redemption shaped like the ones in films. Here is what the story does give her. Ngozi, 23 years old, first-class graduate, 4 months pregnant, sitting up in the dark after her mother has fallen asleep, writing lesson plans for children who have nothing to do with her wasted ambition. She writes them carefully, she makes them good. Because that's the thing about a woman like Ngozi, the thing the 41 companies never understood and Emeka's uncle never had to consider. She does not know how to do anything badly, not even surviving. Whether that's enough is the question this story leaves open, like a door in a house that has not yet decided what it wants to become.